There are ways that people correct for overpopulation, and typically it involves having less children.
Right, yes, that is one way, but it also has to happen the other way.
Yes.
Okay.
Colin had a problem and a microphone to spare. Thomas took it up and so the podcast went to air. For weeks and months they trolled through every single DVD. They've unwrapped all the ones they can and now they're cellulose free. Now they're cellulose free.
Hello, dear listener, and welcome to Cellulose Free. My name is Colin, and with me, as always, is my fellow film watcher, compadre and son, Thomas.
Hi, hello.
What have you been up to?
I have a consumer report to provide to our dear listeners.
Right.
Cadbury has been, as they do from time to time, experimenting with various chocolate blocks.
Vegemite and anchovy?
No, I picked up a triple-decker block, which is milk chocolate and white chocolate sandwiching a layer of peppermint-flavoured chocolate.
With white chocolate?
Yes.
Oh, I'm not sure whether that works for me. Did it work for you?
It was okay.
Right.
I needed more peppermint.
Yeah, look, if you're going to throw peppermint in there, unless that's the flavour, peppermint really can't be a background flavour, I don't think. It's got to be in your face, which sort of defeats the whole purpose of making something with multiple flavours that include... I mean, peppermint choc chip ice cream makes sense.
Yeah.
Just one type of chocolate with peppermint. You occasionally get that chocolatey taste.
And the texture.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know what they were thinking there.
It was okay.
Right.
I don't consider myself to have wasted the $4 that I spent on it.
When I were a lad...
Yeah.
And that's the scary thing, though. $4 is, at the moment, fairly cheap for a block of chocolate here.
That was down from $6.
Did they come out with any others? Usually they have, 3 or 4 when they go crazy with new flavours.
It's a question of whether I'm interested in the premise to begin with.
Right.
And I was interested in the premise of Triple Decker, but I'm not sure I'll bother again. It was pleasant enough, but I have other go-tos already, so...
Certainly, if what you're after is peppermint, you would just go for...
a peppermint block.
Peppermint block, yes, with the creamy peppermint centre.
Yeah.
Did you track yourself down a lemon lime bitters?
No.
Oh, okay. I might have to mix some Christmas Day. I suspect there will be lots of takers for that.
Yeah.
In this house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not. Anything else you've been up to, other than sampling the fine and wacky flavours being thrown at us by Cadbury's?
I went for a walk, and that's why I ended up in Eastlands buying a block of triple-decker chocolate. On a whim, really. But,
right.
Yeah.
When was this?
Saturday. Yeah. Couldn't go on Sunday, because there's almost no buses.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't go on Monday, because Monday got up above 30, and...
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Managed to survive it by keeping my bedroom door open.
Funny that.
Yeah. Today is considerably less warm, and I am worried off the fruits of just a couple of minutes of it being closed. How it might be in a couple of hours when we're done here.
Yeah. Ah, well. It's a short film today, so
yeah.
We'll see how we go.
You?
Me? I went for a good walk with dear listener Helen on Friday, out into the wilds of the Wellington forest. A very pleasant walk with a stream and lots of birds and lots of ferns and changes of forest type as we went up and down over hill and vale. It was good. Or hill and dale. Is it hill and vale or hill and dale?
I think it might be hill and dale. You really more go through Vale.
You do, don't you?
Or down Vale.
Yes. What did I say first? Did I say Vale and then corrected myself to Dale?
I can't remember.
I mean, there was a reason why I questioned myself, so...
Yeah, Dale.
Yeah.
Travelling a long distance through a variety of terrain, including hills and valleys.
Thus, Dale.
Thank you, Google Gemini.
Oh, good grief.
Who you can almost no longer avoid.
No, you can't. But you can still no longer trust.
Yeah.
As throwing anything 100% accurate at you. You just can't trust it.
Dale geography. A dale is a valley, especially an open, gently sloping ground between low hills with a stream flowing through it.
Right. Well, we certainly did that. There were certainly streams and there were certainly rivers. So it was good. I took a number of photos and just enjoyed the atmosphere of the peace and serenity and the two large graders that were going up the road that we came down. We timed it well in that this particular section of road is a dirt road, but there were graders going through, fixing up the surface. But to be perfectly honest, the more we walked, the less we could hear it, so it was good. Speaking of getting stuck behind things, we also went out to the coast through large swathes of sheep pasture land.
Yeah.
And it was quite a large property with a public access through it, but with signs saying that sheep would be moving between pastures. And sure enough, on our way out, we slowed down and stopped and waited for a large flock of sheep to be herded by sheepdog and property owner, I guess, or property manager on a Polaris. And yeah, it was actually quite fun to watch. But he was also very grateful that we stopped well back so that they could just get on with what they're doing. I suspect he has more than his fair share of people who are impatient and make it awkward for him to do what he needs to do. Other than that, I got my armed drain of plasma and that was fun. And I mean that, it was fun. It's a great atmosphere in that place, and dropped off some chocolates to the staff there just because it's my happy place, and yeah, it was good.
Christmas is a week away.
It's what?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Huh. What are you getting me?
The opportunity to sleep in.
Oh, that's so very generous of you. Right. Good. We shall reciprocate then. We shall just exchange the same gift to one another.
We'll see how well that gift works.
Yeah. You and Christmas.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Well, me and any opportunity that I might be anxious for.
Ah, well, speaking of getting anxious for things that are coming up, we have an anxious film to watch.
Yeah, in a thriller, there might be some anxiety.
I think so.
Yeah.
I seem to recall in the plot synopsis there might even be some nuclear bomb threats happening, so I think anxiety will be high. What are we watching this week?
Well, that's coming up next.
And now a word from our sponsors. Welcome back.
The film's called Next.
Starring Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
What is it all about?
Las Vegas magician Chris Johnson has the ability to see into the future. When a terrorist group threatens a nuclear attack on Los Angeles, Chris is pursued by FBI agents seeking to use his abilities to prevent the cataclysm.
Now, I'd just like to point out that during that, there was a loud clunking noise that I could hear. It was just the house stretching.
Yeah.
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 And I'm not going to ask him to read it again.
I worry about my room getting hot, but also the Bureau is saying that it's only about 16 degrees out there right now.
Yeah, a bit strange. Anyway, we're stalling. We're stalling from getting anxious here. Thomas is going to tell me where it's streaming.
Yeah, I can pull up Stan.
I think it's Stan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to watch it on the Stan stream. Then we're going to come back and talk about it. So we shall catch you on the flip side.
Turn to side B.
I knew you were going to say that.
Well, it is fairly normal, yes.
I knew you were going to say that.
Did you?
Yes, I had a premonition.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I can look 5 minutes into the past.
So...
You don't know what to do with that. I've got you stumped, you mongrel. So what did you think?
It's not a very good film, is it? In the pantheon of films that Nicolas Cage has been in, it's not good.
No. I have some comments written down in regards to that.
Yeah.
But I need to backtrack with an earlier thing that I'd typed whilst watching it. Is it's so damn orange.
Yeah, it sure is.
Especially Nicolas Cage. And there were close-ups of him, and you can see that I don't think it's just the lighting, it's actually orange makeup he's got.
This film is certainly a product of the noughties.
Okay, but, and then my comments go, it was a dumb premise, but a smart writer could have made it a reasonable film.
Uh-huh.
And they didn't have a great writer.
No.
It just went all over the place. So I then looked up who the writers were. All right. This is going somewhere. One of the writing credits is Philip K. Dick.
Yes.
Based on a short story called The Golden Man.
Yeah.
About mutants, post-apocalyptic, but the Wikipedia page, the last sentence says, a golden-skinned mutant called Chris is captured by the government, which attempts to execute him. However, his appearance and abilities to see into the future allow him to escape.
Yeah.
Surely that is not why it was so orange. It says there, a golden-skinned mutant.
Yeah.
And the short story is called The Golden Man. And he was goldy orange all the way through it. And his jacket was a golden... Of all the things to pick, I do not think that was accidental. And when I followed that thread to that point, my immediate reaction was, no. Rather than trying to service that little bit of Philip K. Dick fan service, couldn't they have made it a better film? And not take you out of the picture going, this is so orange.
There's an interesting rabbit hole. So Gary Goldman, screenwriter on this.
My eyes looked through the list and gravitated to... So I'm glad that you followed someone else.
You know, Big Trouble in Little China, Total Recall, sort of almost Minority Report, just sort of got adapted away in further writing, and he only got an executive producer credit for it. Then did Next, which is about as far as the article gets, before it notes that Gary Goldman is the person who did the copyright infringement lawsuit for the film Zootopia.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
As in he was claiming that he wrote it?
He claimed that it was his idea and that he had pitched Disney the idea.
Oh, okay. Did he win?
No.
Right.
No. The problem with ideas is that they're not copyrightable. It's the expression of ideas that matters.
Yeah. So if he had written it and had the evidence that he had written something quite substantially similar and had dates to prove it, rather than I pitched it verbally.
The idea of a city populated by anthropomorphic animals, it's not a new idea.
It is not, no.
And, you know, there's been plenty of such stories throughout the years.
Yep.
I know that Star Trek Discovery, there was a guy who was making a game that involved a tardigrade that travels through space.
Oh, right. And that's my idea.
And claimed, you know, similarity of characters in Star Trek Discovery with his project. As far as I know, didn't go anywhere.
Right. Meanwhile, while you're looking at that, I also checked director-wise because there were large swathes of it that were poorly directed. And bizarrely, it was the big build-up scene at the end, pretty much, that just wasn't tight enough and it was too filled with shots that didn't help to make it make any more sense. In fact, it threw elsewhere, and there was a bomb set up where if people walked through the beam, kaboomy. But I'm quite positive that there was another route in that same room that they could have just backed up and gone around it. And it just, I don't know. It was messy and just could have been so much better.
It was thrown out and then appealed and then thrown out again.
Right.
Yeah. The trouble is that going one step further with tardigrades, going from tardigrades can survive in space to tardigrades travelling in space is not a huge leap, and the rest of the case falls apart because it's just science fiction tropes, and you can't copyright tropes.
Science. No.
There was the possibility that someone on the Star Trek team had seen it, because he'd been posting devlogs before Discovery came out, but yeah. Apparently regretted appealing and was sort of pushed in that direction by other parties, but...
In my mid-teens,
yeah,
I proposed the idea that when I die, I want to be cremated, and the carbon from my cremation would be compressed into an artificial diamond that would then be set in a ring that would be passed on from eldest child to eldest child to eldest child, saying that, wearing the ring, saying this is my great-great-great-grandfather type of thing. And I thought it was a cool idea. And, of course, a number of years later, somebody actually did do it. And I feel ripped off.
Right.
Yeah. There's no point me doing it now.
Right.
Yeah.
I am not surprised that I forgot that I had seen this film.
Yeah, there are bits of it that I really do like.
Yeah.
There are moments that work quite well, but there are others that it just feels like bits of it were being made up on the spot. Bits of it were being made by the work experience kid.
Mm-hmm. The only bit that I remembered as it was happening was the bit with Peter Falk in it.
Yeah. It was telemovie material, really. I don't know how much they spent on it, and probably most of it was spent on Nicolas Cage. But
well, they didn't make their budget back.
No.
So,
No. I really, really wanted to like it. And it could have been made likeable. There was smart enough ideas once you've accepted the ridiculous premise that it could have been a decent film. But it wasn't a decent film.
You took some interesting ideas and made an uninteresting film.
Yeah. I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
If I was to play you a piece of music and then you have to come up with what location in the world does that evoke for you?
Yeah.
So obviously there would be pieces of music that would instantly make you think of, right, I'm right in the middle of France, I can see the Eiffel Tower, that type of thing. What if somebody played A Little Less Conversation, A Little More Action by Elvis? What location do you instantly think of?
To be clear, this answer has been seeded somewhat.
Somewhat, yes.
By some conversations that happened during the film that perhaps it shouldn't have, but did. They did, nonetheless. It's Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah. This is certainly not the only film that uses that piece of music whilst showing shots of Vegas.
And it's specifically that remix of A Little Less Conversation.
Yeah. It's quite bizarre. As soon as you heard it, you could have your eyes shut and you'd know exactly where we're going to be. Other than that, music was certainly adequate for what was going on. There were some really nice sounding pieces, but no real motifs that jumped out. It was actually the same composer, I think, that did The Family Man. No, he did A Family Man. That's different.
Yeah. And also different from Family Man.
Yes. You try to Google Family Man, the movie, and you get thrown hundreds and hundreds of movies.
Yeah.
Some of them which are Hallmark, I think. The director was, his main notable would have been Once Were Warriors. So he was a New Zealand director. And he also did one of the James Bond films.
Die Another Day.
Die Another Day.
Which I think was the one with the invisible car.
Yeah.
The really bad invisible car.
All right, so let's cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Average.
Yeah.
Could have been better. Could have been so much better. The only other note that I had is that the font that's used on all the posters and on the DVD covers and what have you that say Next is not the distinct font that they use in the opening credits.
I mean, that's nothing new.
It's nothing new, but I actually preferred the font that they used in the credits. They could have used that. Because really the one that's in the posters is quite nondescript. Anyway. Do you have anything else you wish to say about that mediocrity?
Nah.
No. It wasn't a terrible film, but it wasn't a great film. It's probably where I stand.
Yeah.
It had bits of terribleness in it.
You,
Oh, yeah.
you say we'll move on and then
Okay.
and then we won't.
All right, then. We shall move on then.
The following segment has no title. Thank you.
No? Nothing there? Okay, I guess that was it then. Cool. We have one comment.
Cool.
It comes in from Entosferatu,
Hi, N2 Osferatu.
who says, lemon, lime and bitters sounds great, though finding the correct kind of lemonade in the US is harder than it might be elsewhere.
I didn't think about that.
The default US lemonade is not carbonated, just
No.
lemon juice, water and sugar.
I think the best description that I can give you would be, I believe that in the US, both Sprite and 7-Up, if those two still exist, have lemon and lime flavouring in them. You take away the lime and you get lemonade here. It is essentially clear, fizzy, sugary, with a quite artificial taste of lemon in it, but predominantly just sugar, but not corn syrup type of sugar. It's got to be cane sugar. There's a difference in taste. So that's possibly why it's hard to find in the US, because I know that certainly in my brief experience in the US, pretty much all of the soft drinks are sugarated with corn syrup rather than cane sugar. And it is a different sugar and a different taste. And I don't think they could do a traditional UK/Australian/New Zealand/ a number of other places lemonade using corn syrup. It would just taste wrong.
Actually, he continues, I should check to see if I can get the pre-mixed cans. We have a nearby market run by a family from Micronesia, and thus it has a mix of products from Japan, China, the Philippines and Australia. It's my local Tim Tam sauce.
Would you believe it? I certainly have locations where, when I've got a real craving, I go searching for A&W root beer, which I have to find in similar places here.
Entosferatu is the only one who's provided a comment, so I'll barrel straight through his file name guess. Yay for arbitrary points. For this week, my guess is Fmlyman. That's Fmlyman, which I will note is 7 characters.
It is. That is 7 characters.
And on that basis is 1 away from being correct.
It is. It's a fickle game. It really is.
Yeah.
And prone to the whims of where my brain just happens to be while I'm spinning for the letters and filling in a space.
Yeah.
And as a general rule, if I have a name of a film that is longer than 8 letters, I will still try to fill the 8 spaces. I think would be a fair assessment, which I did.
Yeah. You should instead have gone for Family Man. That's Famlyman.
Yeah, I just lost the one letter,
Yeah.
took out an I, so it was Family Man.
Entosferatu concludes, can't wait for the next podcast.
When's that happening?
Ideally never.
Next week, we'll be watching Next. Do you get this feeling of deja vu?
Not for a podcast or anything, because we're off the next couple of weeks.
But when we come back, we'll be watching Next.
Do send in any file name guesses for the film Next, which I will note is a film which only has 4 letters in its title.
It does.
Or any
Hang
other
on,
sort.
let me count that. So it does, yes.
Or any other sort of commentary, film suggestions, how your holidays turned out.
Favourite soft drink / pop / fizzy drink, whatever you call it in your locale.
Favourite holiday meal.
What? For Festivus.
Yeah.
Right.
If you celebrate a holiday, you might not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, or whatever it isn't.
All right. I think we shall move on.
Yeah. Yeah. Good call.
Pick a film for next week so we can go to bed.
It's your turn.
It is my turn, and I have a film that I don't believe you have seen.
Okay.
Keeping in mind that we are going on hiatus for, what do we normally do?
It'll be 2 weeks, because don't want to do it on Christmas Day.
No, we don't.
Because that's when we'd be recording.
Yeah, not doing that.
If we wanted to go earlier, it would be Christmas Eve, and that's definitely not happening.
We're also...
We're also off New Year's Day.
Yeah, so it's 3 weeks, isn't it?
Yes, 3 weeks. We're off for 2 weeks, but we'll be back 3 weeks from now.
All right.
Fence post problem.
Yeah, okay. Fence post problem indeed. Oh, good grief. What is going on with this plot synopsis?
Is it long? Is it rambling?
It is. It's like 5 long paragraphs long.
Uh-huh.
Quick, I need a website that will give me, because it's not, as far as I know, streaming anywhere.
Oh.
So, yeah.
So I can't fall back on that.
Can't fall back on that. Oh, it is.
Oh?
Okay, it's streaming on Prime.
Okay.
And Tubby.
Just make sure that it is actually streaming on Prime and not an add-on to Prime.
That is true. I think it is Prime Video.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And a far, far shorter plot synopsis. 2 sentences.
Okay.
Here we go. Don't believe you've seen it. An American oil company sends a man to Scotland to buy an entire village where they want to build a refinery. But things don't go as expected.
No, I don't know this.
You do not know this. Next week, we are watching the 1983 film Local Hero.
Great, what a nondescript title.
I know. And genre-wise, I could be treading into difficult territory here. It's a comedy drama.
Uh-huh.
We've had a mixed experience with such a genre combinations, but that is indeed what we're watching. Hey,
Ooh,
it's...
Capaldi.
Mm-hmm. And Burt Lancaster is in it.
Okay. Well, that's what we're watching 3 weeks from now.
3 weeks
after
from
we've
now.
been off for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Also famous for a soundtrack written by Mark Knopfler, who people may know from Dire Straits and the... What's the name of the other group that he's... Travelling Wilburys? Is it Travelling Wilburys?
No, it looks like just Dire Straits.
Oh, that's nonsense.
From 1977 to 1995. After which he went solo.
Yeah.
Oh, briefly.
Mm-hmm.
The Notting Hillbillies.
Oh, Notting Hillbillies. I knew it was something.
Billies.
Sorry?
Hillbillies.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Not hillberries.
I didn't say
You
hillbilly.
did.
I did not.
You are going to listen to this in editing and you
I
are going to
certainly
hear you
am.
say hillberries.
I said hillbillies.
You did not.
And I said that just so that if there's a slim chance that I maybe didn't, I can cut that in later. Anyway, we're rambling. We need to finish and we'll see what happens. We hope that you can join us in 3 weeks' time when we watch Local Hero. But until then, we'll catch you next time.
Bye. You have been listening to Cellulose Free. Your hosts were Colin, who produces and edits the show, and Thomas, who makes the artwork and music. Cellulose Free is recorded in the Deranged Cat Studios in scenic Tasmania, Australia. We keep track of our extensive physical media collection through My Movies, which we highly recommend. You can find links to that, as well as other places you can find us, in the show notes. Cellulose Free is a Hi Hello production.
I said hillbillies.
You did not.
Hillbillies. Why would I say hillbillies? I would never say hillbillies. This is a hill I'm going to die on.
Yes, it is a hill you are going to die on.
I could even check now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm stopping so that I can check.
I've decided to make the file name previous.
Yes. Sequential. There we go.
No, see, previous fits.
It does.
Sequential, you have to take letters out of.
Yeah, and I'm renowned for that. So as many of those vowels, just rip them out.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Especially the U to go with the Q.
Sensual. Oh, briefly. The Notting Hillbillies.
Oh, Notting Hillbillies. I knew it was something.
Billies.
Sorry?
Hillbillies.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Not hillberries.
I didn't say
You
hillbilly.
did.
I did not.
You are going to listen to this in editing, and you
I
are going to
certainly
hear you
am.
say hillberries.
I said hillbillies.
You did not.
And I said that just so that if there's a slim chance that I maybe didn't, I can cut that in later. Anyway, we're rambling. We need to finish, and we'll see what happens.